Well, hello everyone, welcome to India for round 17 of Season 2 of my F1 2012 career mode. I am Lovesbuds, and today my objective is to finish first, which would indicate that I had a very good qualifying. And I did, but I wasn't actually expecting to do as well as I did. From what you can see on parts of my lap, I make a couple of mistakes here and there. And this first sector is actually not so bad. I've sort of worked out how to take those corners relatively well, and such forth. But I'm out in front of everyone, at least, so no one's in my way. So any mistakes I make could end up impacting the whole field, possibly. I never know. This is a corner I was actually doing quite well on last season, and well, this qualifying session is kind of no different. I've done that quite well there, but this section here always gets me. Always messes me up every time, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm going too quick through that little bit of section there, or whatever it is, but there's definitely not enough downforce, grip, or anything else of that nature to get me round there without slowing down more than the other cars behind me. So I do find it a bit weird, and I hate that bit as well, because it always throws me off balance. And come close to spinning it a few times, definitely, in the last couple of qualifying sessions. Let's go around the corner. I didn't think this was a great lap, but 1:34 does actually represent a decent time for a professional. So decent, in fact, that it's put me on pole. And Maldonado has managed to qualify second, look, about 0.04 of a second behind me. I don't know why that. I mean, the McLarens, where were they? Hamilton didn't qualify very well. And I've got Maldonado and Massa up in the top three here. Let's see if I can maybe try and build up a gap or something. So we got quite a good start here. No worries. I should be able to get to the first corner, no problem, through there without any incidents. Looks like there was a bit of fighting going on behind Maldonado. As you can see, Button has made it up to third place as I go around the hairpin and immediately mess it up. Now that's the theme for the entire race really. I sort of messed a lot of things up. Not so bad as I messed up in Korea on lap 8, I think it was, when I practically gifted the race to Alonso. But I made quite a lot of silly little mistakes in this race. Corners that I braked too early into, corners that I overshot and was basically just too slow around. Because for some reason I just was not confident in driving around today. I don't know what it was, or what the hell happened to me. But at the same time, I can't actually believe I'm in the lead still. As the race progresses, you'll see what happens and all the little mistakes that I do. But for some reason, the AI, well, as things like that, for example, I do more of later on. For some reason, the AI just couldn't really get away from me. I don't know if it's down to the setup I was using, or whatever, but on some of these corners I am actually keeping up with them. On the first corner, for example, in the first sector, I'm sort of outbraking them a little bit, doing a little bit better than them, providing I get the timing right and the line right. But then they come back at me in the second sector as well. In the third sector I'm not too hot on either. So I was kind of confused as to why, well, for a start, why I managed to start on pole, because I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting to be around my objective, which was about 6th position. And Button's moved up to second there, so he'll probably be pressuring me in a moment, as he's within a second. As you can see, I'm really not very good on that little corner there, which I believe is nicknamed the Massa Curbs or something, because I think Massa broke his suspension or done something there a couple of years ago. Broke his car on them. because I think in real life the curbs are a bit more prominent than they are in real life. I don't know, maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at them, but either way, Massa broke his car there. At least that's what I believe he did. And he kept overrunning him like I do. But luckily it doesn't really affect me in this game. So here we go, DRS is enabled. We just got a first glimpse of Alonso. I couldn't remember where he started, but he's now moved up to 5th. Still a threat, definitely. The driver rivalry is about 2-all. So if I can make it 3-2 to me, that would be amazing. Only got 3 races to go after this one. So if I win the next one, I think I should be able to get his seat. I mean, definitely if I win the next one and America, if I finish ahead of him in both of those races, I'll definitely have his seat, or Ferrari seat of some description. But I don't know if it is what happens if you end up drawing in the driver rivalry. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not set up to do that, but I don't know if you still get the seat if you draw, or if nothing happens. Not that I would know anyway, because I've only had one driver rivalry so far, and that was against Rosberg, which I completely seemed to dominate against him. And obviously, as you can tell, I've got his seat. Button's not letting me go, that's for sure. I mean, I don't consider myself especially fast around this track for a start. I don't know what it is. It just, as I said earlier, I just didn't seem to have the confidence to throw the car into the corners today. It's kind of weird. But to get the results that I'm getting now, which I'm still in the lead. I mean, I wasn't quite expecting that, but I expect Button will come through when the DRS is activated on this straight, because he is pretty close behind us now. About, well, within half a second he must be. Just got to defend my line. I think I actually made up a bit of time on him on the hairpin before the straight, so he's not actually right up our backsides for once. So what's been going on at the moment? Last couple of days, it's been we're still in the middle of the Barcelona test. It's the last day today, and apparently it's meant to rain today. So that should be interesting to see how they cope with the wet weather. I mean, it's not great for generally working out how the car's handling, but at least it gives them all an opportunity to find out what the car's doing in the wet. So I suppose that would be valuable information for them. And nothing's really been standing out for me in terms of who's doing well in the test. I mean, Alonso set the fastest time yesterday, and the day before that it was Sergio Perez. So you can't really tell much on the times. I mean, after all, Perez, I think he set the tyre on the soft tyres, and then Alonso was on the mediums or something. I don't know. I can't honestly remember. I've been following it loosely over the last couple of days. Not as much as I usually do, but I have an idea what's going on, at least. And I think it looks like Mercedes are making some sort of progress as Button tries to camp the inside. Just outbraked him enough. I think he's still on my right there, but should move across and block him off there. There, definitely. Let's come around these dodgy corners. Let's see if I can take it properly this time. Nope. It's probably the worst I've taken it so far today. And obviously the lack of grip on tyres meant I went off wide there. And this is a section of the track I hate as well. There's not a lot of this track that I actually like, that's for sure. Oh well. Roll on Abu Dhabi. Well, maybe not, as for some reason, for all 3 days in the next race it's forecast to rain. I mean, what the hell, Codemasters? That's pretty much 2 seasons in a row where it's been raining. And that was pre-patch and post-patch. I don't know if it actually, I can't remember. But the patch was meant to sort out the poxy weather being silly, like raining in Bahrain, raining in deserts. But no, they still haven't fixed that one, that's for sure.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Sometimes I think the game, just because it hasn't rained for a few races, think that it has to do something and make it rain in the desert for some reason. I mean, the only place I expect it to rain in these last couple of races of the season is Brazil, because that's always a possibility. Look at the end of 2012. Well, Alonso's come through. Button's fallen away somewhere. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know if he went in the pits or something. And Vettel's in 3rd. But yeah, look at the last part of 2012, and Brazil is always unpredictable weather. It could rain, could stay dry, could do anything really, but races like India, Abu Dhabi and America, they shouldn't be raining, as I try and spin out again. Yeah, I don't know why Codemasters decide that they're gonna mess around with the probability of rain on those circuits. It should just be set to 0, unless you want it to rain. I mean, even if the percentage of the chance of raining was like 1%, that'd still be low enough for it to hardly ever rain there. But whatever, you know, most of you know what Codemasters is like, creating bugs and everything. As much as I enjoy this game, it does get irritating at times. And I'm actually quite pleased that my pit crew have got me out in front of Alonso. I was expecting them to do what they have done in the last few races and hold me there, wait for a Ferrari to go and then let me go, or whoever else is coming down the pit lane. But amazingly, I'm actually out in front as well. I'm not like in 6th or 7th or 8th or anything like that. For some reason, I've come out in the lead, which is quite nice, I have to say. I wouldn't complain about that. But this is just generally being a bit of a weird race. I just can't believe I'm still out in front with how slow I'm going. Okay, my fastest lap is not actually far off the fastest lap of the race so far. But yeah, that's just a fluke. I get 1 or 2 good laps out of 15. The trouble with my driving is I'm not always very consistent. I think probably down to not practicing enough and playing different games at different times and being tired, and there's many factors involved. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to sit on the game all day and just constantly practice. I mean, I do a lot of practice already. I do quite a lot of laps on this game, but not as many as some of the pros out there, that's for sure. And I also find it weird that I'm faster with a controller than a steering wheel. That's that boggles my mind. For a start, I'd probably lose about 1 or 2 seconds using the wheel, but that's probably because I'm not used to it as much as I am a controller. More to the point. But oh well, I'm not too worried. Not got Alonso right behind me now. Button's a bit far off to be keeping Alonso off my back at the minute, so just gonna have to make sure I keep it on the track more than anything. As you can see, I slowed right down before going into that little section. I'm really not confident. I think something goes wrong, not on this one, not on this lap. I know something goes wrong at some point. because this, although I'm in the lead for the majority of this race so far, that it doesn't always go well. That's it, there it is. And that little spin there, little fuck up, has allowed Alonso and Button to get past. So I'm just going to flick up to Rich Mix. I didn't quite think I was going to catch up on that corner, but I forgot that they slowed down quite a bit for that first corner. I don't know why. I'm going to make a move up the inside of Button here, take back second place and try and nearly spin out again. I need to work on the smoothness of my application of the acceleration.
The car ahead has a drive-through penalty to serve, so we don't need to fight them for position.
I don't know if any of you guys heard that, but the engineer just told me that Alonso has a drive-through penalty. I have no idea why, and that's why I switched my fuel down to standard mix again, because I have no intention of catching him up, considering he's about to serve a penalty. Now, where the hell he got a penalty from, I do not know, because I have no idea what he's been up to. But that takes the pressure off me a bit, so I'm not going to try and break my neck to catch up to him. Because I'm obviously going to inherit the lead again, and that's great news for me as well, because him being my rival for this season, he's just going to drop back behind me, and he shouldn't catch up to me again before the end of the race, unless I make a horrible mistake. And there he goes, pitting off into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty, which probably will take him around 10 to 15 seconds to complete. So that'll probably chuck him out around 10th place, I think it was. He'll definitely come out in that gap just before where Schumacher is, who for some reason is low down the order as well today. I haven't seen much of Hamilton. I haven't really seen anything of Hamilton today. He didn't qualify very well, that's for sure. And got Maldonado up here, mixing it up in the top three. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? But as I say, it's just been this is just a bloody weird race. It just felt weird. Car felt weird. I mean, it felt good enough to do a decent lap. My driving was a bit off. My confidence was low for some reason, as you know, things like that happen. And I end up going really slow around these corners. But I just feel that the weirdest thing is, though, I'm still in the lead. I mean, I had a bit of a helping hand from Alonso having his penalty, but I'm just amazed that I'm still out front here, even with all the mistakes I'm making. I don't know, on any other track I think I would probably be about 4th or 5th by now or something silly. But yeah, doing alright. Yeah, Alonso's down in 10th now, so that's good for me. I think there's a bit too much traffic in his way to get back up to me, that's for sure.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Just checking my fuel, see if I can put it up to fuel rich mix, which I probably will do on next lap, or lap 13. Shouldn't need to do anything drastic yet, as I seem to be keeping Button at bay. See again, there, I'm overcautious. Still. Again, yeah. I don't know. I just look back at this driving, and you just think, am I seriously driving this bad in some of these corners? I mean, I know I get frustrated at the time I'm driving that I'm not doing better than I could be doing, because I'm always striving to actually do it properly, get the perfect lines through the corners and perfect braking points.
Watch out for the less than a second behind and will use DRS to overtake.
But, yeah, I always look back and I think, what the hell was I doing there? Why didn't I do this? Why don't I do that? But it's easy to say that in hindsight. I mean, at the time, you're just like, I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, I turned in too early. Clearly. It's just, at the time, you just don't think of these things and you just end up doing something a bit stupid. And that's now left me vulnerable to Button, who's going to get past me easily with DRS. And even Maldonado's having to go on the outside, but I'm going to try and get on the inside of Button. Should be okay, just cut across him. And that should be that. And now I've got Button and Maldonado right behind me, either side of me. Maldonado managed to get past Button as well, so he was the big loser in that battle. And actually taking those corners properly for the first time this race, I think. Not that bit, though. So irritating. I'd like to hook up the perfect lap and actually set a really good time. But as long as those two are fighting behind me, it shouldn't be too bad. At least I hope. Oh, anyway. Still got 2 laps to go. Or 3 laps, I think it is. 13, 14, 15, yeah, 3 laps. Might as well flick it up now. Well, you have to excuse my lack of talking in some of this last section of the video. I think, well, apart from my usual tiredness, I'm always bloody tired, aren't I? I do these videos. I really should do it when I'm awake. But, yeah. Just sitting back and relaxing with a drink. Casually reading over the F1 news just to see if I could spot anything. I mean, there's no real news going on apart from what's going on at the tests, and even then that's not especially anything outlandish and exciting. Oh, balls, here we go again. Letting Button past and Maldonado. So I'm going to try and get past Maldonado here. Just managed to get around him. There's just enough room so I didn't lose my front wing there. Now I've got to get past Button again, which I actually forgot DRS was on the main straight as well.
If you're going to pass this guy, it needs to be now.
So I should be right to get past Button. I'm right up his gearbox anyway now. Well, I sort of made a bit of an indecision now. I was going to go for it, then I wasn't, then I was, basically, on that move, which meant I hit his back tyre. But now I've got DRS, just used up the rest of my KERS, get his slipstream, put out the last minute, and then outbrake him into this corner. Plenty of room for overtaking on those sections. It's nice. Even if the overtaking is a bit artificial with the DRS these days. Still makes for some decent racing. Now I'm up in front again on the penultimate lap. But see, this is what I mean, it just really felt like a weird race. The fact that I'm stood in the lead just mind boggles me. Oh well, I take what I can get because Hamilton's not far off me in the championship, and if I win today's race, then I increase that lead to whatever points margin it will be, because I have no idea where Hamilton is. I haven't seen him all race. Judging by what the what the order's been doing in the top 10, I assume he's down in the bottom section of the top 10. He must be in front of Alonso, but obviously he's behind Vettel and all that lot. Alonso's just moved up to 9th. But yeah, I have no idea where Hamilton is, and that's quite odd because for most of the season he's been up in the top 3, pretty much. So he's just having a bad day, it seems. And if I can increase the gap before Abu Dhabi, where it's meant to be raining every day, which I can't stand rain, especially not on the Abu Dhabi circuit anyway. Well, the trouble is it's probably going to be that silly little light rain that just turns the grip on and off on the surface. I don't mind when it pours down with rain and you have proper wet tyres. It's when you get the intermediates and you can't friggin' decide which one's which and you got no grip on anything. That's what's going to pee me off in the next race if that happens. I know I'm about to record it today, so we'll have to see how frustrated I get with that. Should wake me up a bit as well, so might be alright. But the idea for me today is to get the season done actually, and trying to get working on this montage. I do have a song for it now, so it's good. I have something to work for. I'll try and do that as soon as possible. Get on to start season 3 by the start of next month. But yes, somehow I managed to stay ahead and win that race today, which again still amazes me. And Lewis Hamilton actually finished in 5th there, so it's not a great day for him. He's lost 15 points to me in the championship, because Maldonado for some reason was hanging around in the top 3. He's got himself a podium, which is good to see. I'd like to see the Williams up there. Schumacher down in 15th for some reason. Don't know what went on there. And Kimi Raikkonen down in 14th as well. He doesn't seem to be doing very well this season. I don't know why. Grosjean's definitely doing better than him because he finished in 6th. And Alonso ended up in 8th after all. So, what does that mean for the Drivers' Championship? I am on top, and Lewis Hamilton is 18 points behind, so he's got a lot of catching up to do, unless I crash out the next race, which is quite likely, I suppose, if it rains. So it's still all to play for. He is not lost yet. Even Jensen could come up for somehow and come back through, but I doubt it. I think it's just between me and Hamilton this year. And you got Alonso, Schumacher, and then Grosjean is cementing his place in 6th place. And for the rest of the field, there's no real changes. Nothing too amazing. Kartikeyan up in 20th, which it's nice to see the HRT doing well in the virtual world, at least, even if they are no more. So yeah. No real change in the constructors either. McLaren's still on top on 512 this time. 83 points behind are Mercedes. And you got Ferrari, Lotus, Red Bull, Williams, Sauber, Toro Rosso, Caterham, Force India, HRT, and then Marussia at the back for some reason. Yeah, there we go. So, all that remains for me to say is thank you for joining me. Probably not the most exciting commentary you've ever seen, but still. Join me next time for round 18, which is in Abu Dhabi. Apparently it's meant to be raining every day, so that should be interesting. I'll see you then.